Hi everybody, it's Ames here. How are you? It looks like something's going off on my computer here. Oh, I did turn off my emails. I did turn it off. It's not that. I think it's Facebook. I didn't turn off Facebook though. How are you doing today on this fine Thursday evening? I wanted to pop on here because as you can see on my title, do you really want what you really, really want? I know it came from a song and I don't know who the artist is. Is it Britney Spears? I don't know. I can't remember. Anyways, I didn't really listen to a lot of Britney Spears stuff if it was her. However, the reason why I asked that question is really about reflecting on, do you have realistic goals when it comes to your health and fitness or even your weight loss goals that you might have, right? And this is really important because when I ask women what their goals are, and they always go back to when they were in their 20s. Oh, I was this weight and X size and Y weight and so on and so on. And this is what they're dreaming of being at that weight that they were at when they were in their 20s. And now they're in their 40s, if not 50s, and maybe even most of my women here are in the mid 50s. We're talking like 25 years ago. That's a long time. And that's a lot of wishing and hoping. And it's not to say that those goals are not possible. I mean, yeah, you're not going to get skin like when you were 20, but definitely you can get to the weight that you want to get to, your 20-year-old weight or 25-year-old weight or 20-year-old in terms of the decade itself. It is possible, but the reality is how committed are you, right? Because, when you're trying to aim for something like what you were in your 20s, it's not that it's impossible, but it takes up a lot of time and commitment to get there. And that's not to say probably more time and definitely more commitment for sure. I was just thinking like, well, maybe no, commitment is commitment. If you want any goals, you've got to be committed. And so and I've got this great quote that you might have heard me say before in the past. And it's by this guy named Ken Blanchard. And the quote is, oh, hang on, before I get there, I forgot this part. There's actually, how many components? 4 components. That's where I was. 4 components to getting to your goal, weight loss goals without having to diet. In other words, getting it over with once and for all, and you never have to diet again. Permanent weight loss is what I'm talking about. It requires 4 components. And one of them is decision. Okay. Now to my quote. There's a great quote by Ken Blanchard, and the quote is, there's a difference between interest and commitment. When you're interested in doing something, you do it only when it's convenient. When you're committed to something, you accept no excuses, only results. And when I read this quote out loud to groups of women, they always tell me, oh, you know what? I don't think I was as committed as I should be. And that's a huge factor because you're sitting here, you're thinking you're trying so hard and you're expecting all these results and you're not. And probably one of the biggest reasons is that you're not that committed. So it's really about making that decision. And what a lot of women do is that they're fence sitters. They're neither here nor there. They don't want to decide. They're yes when they're dieting when it's convenient, or they make an effort when it's convenient. When it's not convenient, they don't. But they're expecting these amazing results, which it's never going to happen, right? As we all know, we're all old enough now to know that when you're committed, that's when you get results. Just like when I always give this example, when you're saving money for a big purchase like a house or car, and you put money away every month or every bi-weekly or whatever it may be, it takes that kind of commitment. Yeah, every so often you might have a blip and you have to fix the furnace or whatever, and that takes a chunk out. But however, you're still on that path of saving the money that you need to buy that big ticket item. And weight loss is really no different. And what's happened is the diet industry has really made us think that, weight loss should just be like that. Yeah, maybe for the 1 percentile, right? But for most women, it takes work and commitment. And that's the big key, is creating or making that decision. Yes, I'm going to do this. I'm committed to myself. And if it's a no, that's okay. You don't have to feel bad, because if it's not the right time for you, it's not the right time for you. There's not much you can do. It's all a timing thing, right? So if you've got stresses going on in your life and getting this kind of losing weight permanently is not on the radar at the moment, that's okay. Let yourself off the hook until you are ready to commit. But don't be a fence sitter. that's no fun. It's a no-win situation there. You're not going to find happiness. It's when you make that decision, whether it's either or, you can relax, right? Number 2 is commitment, as I mentioned already. And what I mean by commitment is knowing your deep why. You've got to have a compelling why to drive you, because motivation, as we all know, is very short-lived. You know that, okay, Monday or Sunday, you're all motivated to get on a program, and then Monday comes around and all you're eating is lettuce and you're hungry and you're starving and you're not going to go kill yourself at the gym. Yeah, it's very short-lived. I mean, I asked a group of ladies once, and someone said, yeah, it lasted, I think 6 hours. Right? And that's what happens, right? Because it's not a number goals are not deep enough. Losing 10 pounds is not enough of a reason to lose that weight, because you know what? In day one, you're like, ugh, you know what? I don't feel like doing this anymore. It's too hard. Yeah, and that's the reason. You've got to have a compelling why. And these are some of the questions that you need to ask yourself when you're trying to discover what your why is. How will your life be different if you were to lose the X weight? Okay, what would it allow you to do? How is it going to add to your life? So you've got to answer a whole bunch of questions to actually get to the reason why you want to actually lose that weight permanently. Because like I said, numbers aren't going to cut it. Number 3 is perseverance, right? Like I said earlier, it's like saving money to make that big purchase, like a house or car, and you put money away every month, even for your retirement, right? That's another good example for us, 50-year-olds, 40-year-olds. It's perseverance. Is every time you get a check, you put a certain amount into the bank, into stocks, into RSPs, or whatever it may be. And every so often, you might have to dip in it for emergency. But however, you're persevering. You've got to stay on track. No matter what, you keep going. And the diet culture has taught us to, for quick results. Hey, if you want to lose 10 pounds in 3 days, okay, maybe not quite that extreme, but you guys get the picture, right? And that's what we're expecting. If we've been eating good and being good, as they say, for a week, we're expecting miracles. We're expecting to lose 3 pounds, 2 pounds, or whatever. And it's all about the perseverance. It's staying on track and staying committed. Right? So yeah, because, and the other thing too is there's actually no such thing as perfect. People are aiming for perfection when it comes to their eating habits or their workout regime, but particularly with their eating habits. They're expecting 100% eating healthy every day, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 3 square meals, even your snacks, and so on and so on. Well, how much fun are you having? Let me guess. Not that much fun. So it's all about maintain a trajectory, right? So if this is your goal, if you're here and this is your goal, as long as you're going in this path, in this upward momentum, and you might have less peaks and valleys and more like this undulating path of getting to your goal. Some highs, some lows, some highs, some lows, because we live in a cycle. We have daily cycles. We have monthly cycles for us ladies. We have seasonal cycles. We got moon cycles. We've got, when I say seasonal, so we got annual cycles. We got all kinds of cycles going on that we live under. So it's really important to create that undulating. And just because you have a little dip doesn't mean you throw the towel in, right? And that's why having a deep why makes a big difference. So all these kind of work together. All right, ladies? And last but not least is belief. Okay, this is a big one because when I talk to a lot of women don't feel like they deserve to be happy in their bodies, whether it's because it's weight loss or it's body image or whatever it may be, is women don't feel like they deserve it. I've seen so many women tear up and feel like they don't deserve it. And this is something that you've got to deal with, because when you approach weight loss or health and fitness goals in the way that I'm talking about in these 4 steps, it's actually getting to the root cause of why you're eating when you're not hungry. It's not just about the food. There's a reason why you're eating the food. Yeah, people, diet cultures, it's all about the food. Well, I'm telling you, food is at the top. And then you got to dig deeper and dig deeper and dig deeper. And then when you dig deep enough, which is your belief system, that's when that's where you got to tackle it in order to obtain permanent weight loss. You've got to deal with your belief system. And if you don't believe that you're happy in your body, well, guess what? You're always going to be struggling with your weight. you're struggling with food issues, emotional eating, and so on and so on. So it's really important to understand your belief system. So you can ask some of the questions that you can ask yourself are, why do you deserve to be happy? Or maybe if you don't feel like you don't deserve it, is why don't you feel like you deserve to be happy? These are really, really important questions that you need to ask yourself in order to lose the weight permanently. Otherwise, you're just going to be back on that roller coaster of that diet culture, of getting on diets and not working, and then throwing in the towel and you're still not happy. And it's just that cycle just keeps going and going and going, which is what it's always been doing up until now. And so this is a real opportunity to ask yourself really important questions. And it's really about creating that level of awareness, your emotional awareness, your physical awareness, your spiritual awareness, and your mental awareness. Because when we talk about health and fitness, it's not just about our physical body. We've got all those other things you've got to consider. Yeah, that's true health and fitness or health and wellness. So when you implement these four, you can lose weight and you will lose weight permanently. These are the 4 steps that I go through with my clients for permanent weight loss. And so it's all about finding out why you're eating when you're not hungry. It's not about the food. It's something else. It's your belief system. All right? So decision, making a decision, commitment, perseverance, and belief. All right, so that's it for today. Hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, feel free to post down here below. If you have any comments, I would love to hear from you. All right, see you soon. Bye. Oh, didn't hit. Well, there it is. Bye.